What's up, folks? This is Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. And I know that getting into solo RPGs can be quite daunting a task.
We fear change.
There is no dummy's guide for getting into solo RPGs. So today, what I'm going to talk about is one of the most crucial decisions you're going to make in that process, and that's choosing the correct Game Master emulator for you and your table. So today I'm going to go through 5 of my favorite emulator products and how they work and what makes them the right choice for you or the particular game that you're going to play. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as I am wont to do in my top 5 lists, I break the rules right off the bat. And this is going to be my honorable mentions. So the first one I'm going to talk about is going to be Ironsworn and Ironsworn Starforged. So these are, in my opinion, the best done solo RPG experiences. The reason they're not going to be on my top 5 list is because it is so intertwined within the rules of the game itself that the emulator and the game share so much of the same space, it's almost impossible to imagine disconnecting them from one another.
Yes, I lied to you.
So you can't really take Ironsworn or Starforged and use it to play another game easily as is presented in these books, but they are fantastic solo RPG experiences. And if you want to play fantasy or you want to play sci-fi, these would be a great place to start.
I'm a fan.
If you have never played a solo RPG and you're wanting a good training wheels solo RPG experience that is still going to have a lot of meat on the bones, either one of these would be fantastic. You can go check out Sean Tompkins' his podcast, and he does playthroughs, and you really learn how the game is supposed to work by listening to how he plays it.
Even you couldn't say no to that.
The other honorable mention that I'm going to use is going to be the Forbidden Lands Book of Beasts. So this product is very serviceable. If you look at my 5 days in the Forbidden Lands video on the channel, you will see that that is what I used in that video, and it works quite well. The reason it's not going to make my top 5 is because it is a pretty limited product. The author of that section of the book has came out and said that Free League had given him a very strict page count that he had to adhere to, and by the time that he put in all of the necessary bits, he didn't get to put in a lot of the flavorful things that he wanted to add. So he does have an expanded version of the solo rules for Forbidden Lands that is on DriveThruRPG. I don't think it's a completed project yet. I bought it and it wasn't done yet, but he is in the process of updating that and getting it ready for the prime time. But those are my honorable mentions for this list. And coming in at number 5, this is the Game Master's Apprentice. This is a deck of cards by Larcenous Designs. You can get the print-on-demand cards for about 20 bucks through DriveThruRPG, or you can get a print-and-play PDF of the cards for $7.49. This has all the elements that you need to solo a game in a single deck of cards. It's got the yes-no oracle with varying probabilities. It's got random die rolls for all of the polyhedrals you're going to need. It's got the verb, adjective, noun, context clues. It's got sensory cues. It's got random names, locations, motivations, and more.
Hey, what more can a guy ask for?
This is a great budget option that works for any system, and because it's quite light and low table space, it is easy to throw into a bag and take with you to a friend's house. And you can see on these cards, you've got your random dice rolls here, you've got your yes-nos, you've got a random difficulty generator, you've got sensory options, belongings that you would find in perhaps a corpse. You got random names, virtues, vices, a random location, why an event is happening, and so on and so forth. So these cards are double-sided, and all of these different elements are on every card, and that makes this a very, very serviceable, on-the-go Game Master Emulator product that is system neutral. Number 4, this is going to be Strider Mode for the One Ring RPG by Free League. You can get this PDF from DriveThruRPG for $4.99. Strider Mode is exactly what I look for in a game-specific Game Master Emulator product. Precious! It incorporates all the pillars of the One Ring in a way that still very much feels like that game without deviating too far from the original mechanics. For a game as unique as the One Ring, this is amazing. Strider Mode provides setting-appropriate contextual cues that are so well integrated, it feels like part of the core system. Now, I have done a video of playing through the One Ring using the Strider Mode expansion.
It's like people only do things because they get paid.
And if you want to check that out, you can find out a lot more about the system. But as it stands, this is the product. It's got some great random quest generators. It's got some contextual differences in how some of the results would work in a solo game versus a regular game of the One Ring. And it has some key changes that you make to your character creation process to make your characters a little bit more survivable.
Who has the ability to survive. That's the game.
At the end, it's got these amazing collected tables, so once you're familiar with the system, you really just need to flip through the last few pages of the document to have everything that you're going to need to access the game. And coming in at number 3 is Scarlet Heroes by Sine Nomine. It is available on DriveThruRPG. It's a $14.99 PDF, or you can get the soft cover for $27.50 or the hardcover for $32.99. You can see I have the hardcover here, and for followers of the channel, you know that I love Sine Nomine.
We're not worthy!
And I think Kevin Crawford is one of the most talented game designers of this generation.
The sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him.
Well, the first of his works that I purchased was actually Scarlet Heroes. This is a game that is 1 part BX D&D, 1 part Godbound, and 1 part Oriental Adventures. But hidden in that amazing book are 17 pages of the most disciplined and efficient Oracle tools that you'll ever find. As is customary, his content generation tools are excellent, and his simple GM Oracle is very playable. I would use this for any OSR or BX-based game, as is evident by it having a place in my own Cities Without Numbers toolkit that I've been working on recently. So these 17 pages here are going to give you the oracles, some contextual tables, you got adjectives and motivations, you've got creation tools for random NPCs. You can roll randomly how you are related to or what kind of relationship you have with an NPC. There are reaction tables a la the old school RPGs that you are familiar with. And then there are specifics for creating urban adventures, wilderness adventures, and dungeon adventures. And as you go through this, you are going to find that this is a really good way to create a somewhat abstract as far as drawing up maps and things of these types of adventures, but it's going to be very effective at creating a story that makes you feel like you're really in the worlds that you're playing in. Now, this is built into the Scarlet Heroes RPG, which is an RPG of its own, but these 17 pages I would be happy to play through in any BX-based system or any OSR system, first edition, second edition, or BX. And so for that reason, whenever I do my Cities Without Number playthrough as a solo on the channel, I will be using this Oracle for that playthrough, and that should tell you how much I think of this. All right, and this is Solitary Defilement coming in at number 2. You can get this on DriveThruRPG for $12.20, which is an odd number, but it's by 1D10 Plus 5 Studios, also an odd name for a company.
The first step of the condition piece.
So Morkborg, or Dark Fort as the English translation goes, is a genuine phenomenon. A simple system that can place its core rules on a single A5 sheet, but can't contain its style in a full tome. I'm a big proponent of solo RPGs having simple rules and ample procedural content generation tools. Well, Morkborg has that in spades. Normally, that'd be enough, and I'd grab a system-neutral Game Master emulator and call it a day. Not so here, though, as Solitary Defilement provides a brilliant reimagining of Sean Tompkins' Ironsworn system, itself inspired by the Powered by the Apocalypse system. By simply rolling twice for any resolution, you can generate the strong hit, weak hit, and miss from Ironsworn, but using a resolution mechanic from the game of your choice.
That's a really good idea.
Solitary Defilement, besides providing the aforementioned innovation, also provides setting-appropriate, grim, and hopeless contextual tools in the spirit of less gloomy Game Master emulators. Combine all of this with a great advice section and more examples than you can shake a sharp femur bone at, and you have a skillful re-implementation of the amazing Ironsworn system made for Morkborg. And this is my Morkborg toolkit. So I've got, this is all of the core rules that you need for Morkborg. And if that's not enough, there's all of the core rules that you need for Cyborg. And to not leave them out, there are all of the rules that you would need for Pirate Borg. Then you get into Solitary Defilement kit. It's got your basic mechanics, your moves. It's got how the structure of an adventure works, and then it's got lots and lots of contextual tables. And if you buy the product on DriveThruRPG, it's also going to give you a few different adventure modules for solo experiences and the Alone in the Crowd PDF as well, which gives you a toolkit for creating settlements and adventuring in a city crawl situation.
Good. Get my money's worth.
All of that combines to make Solitary Defilement an amazing creation, and I am extremely happy that this is available and that it is so cheap at $12.20. And coming in at number 1, this will be no surprise, this is the Mythic Game Master Emulator by Wordmill Games. The cost varies by the edition and the format, but it can be anywhere from $5 up into, I think, the $60 range for one of the nicer hardcover editions. So the system with the most age remains the best on the market.
Get off my lawn.
Tana Pigeon first released Mythic in 2003, and it's had several versions at this point, including one with its own built-in RPG, which is right here. Many of the common elements of all solo RPGs, such as the Yes-No Oracle and the action-themed descriptors tables, were in the early versions of Mythic. Where Mythic really shines is in its driving the story forward with the chaos factor and the excellent worksheet tools that provide structure and some lightly forced journaling. While I don't use this emulator every time I solo, if I were to only own one, this would be it hands down. The new second edition is great, but I'd be just as happy running one of my older editions as well. For a few bucks, Mythic can make any RPG into a solo experience. And as such, here is my Mythic solo toolkit. I've printed out the rules summary, and then I've got the charts, and then I've got several of the tables, and I have extras of a lot of the worksheets. And here you have my revised copy. This version has a built-in RPG. It is very rules light, and it sticks with the concepts that you use anytime you play with a Mythic emulator. This is the newest. This is the Mythic Emulator 2nd edition, and it has a lot more examples in it, and they have reworked some of the tables and added a lot more contextual descriptor tables and elements. But overall, this would be my preferred product, but all of them are very, very viable as a solo tool. All right, so that was my top 5 GM emulator tools. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these, if you've used any of them, or if you haven't started solo RPGs yet and you're looking forward to it. I'd love to hear about what game you're going to try out first. Also, if you have any questions on specifics of any of these emulators, put a comment down in the bottom of the video here, and I'll be happy to share my thoughts, for whatever that's worth. So if you did enjoy the content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, this has been Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. Good gaming, and God bless.
Well, bye.